Hi everyone, and welcome into the Steelers Playbook show, where we take a look at the Tennessee Titans and the Steelers matchup this week. Now listen, the NFL is about matchups, and all are important. However, every now and then there's one matchup in a game that's more critical than the other. And in this case, it is the Titans running attack versus the Steelers run defense. Now, oftentimes when you hear Derrick Henry is no longer there, I think people assume their running game's not very good. That is so incorrect. They are still committed to it, and they are still very good at it. Foreman, who is their runner right now, does a great job of running the football. And if you look at the Patriot game, it looked like the Patriots manhandled them, but really they didn't. There was a lot of big runs there. It was the end of the runs were the reason that they weren't successful, and I'll show you that in a second. Here is the Tennessee Titans. Whether that's Derrick Henry back here or not, this is what they're gonna do. A tight end here, a tight end here. And these guys are gonna come off the football and try to maul you and run downhill. Now, at the snap of the ball, you're gonna see what they do. And this is a great job of just running the football. What a beautiful job by the guard here. Boy, he gets this linebacker. Center is already one here. These two guys, a beautiful job here, and they have already created them what I call a canale because it is so big for their runner Foreman. Now, reason you probably didn't see this explosive run is because what happens right here, bam, ball comes out and they recover it. Well, when that happens, that is a devastating effect to your offense, and that's what happened to them in this matchup. They got a lot of big explosive runs like that, but turnovers ignored that. And so you don't think that the Tennessee Titans can run the football like they used to with Derrick Henry. Not true. It is going to be the most important aspect of this matchup. Now, how can the Steelers handle that? Well, let's take a look. Look at how they did against the Ravens. And they've done this the last couple of weeks, is they'll play 5 linebackers to a lot of personnel that they will see. So what does that personnel mean? First, you got a tight end here, and you got a tight end that's going to go in motion. Now, it's pretty much how the Titans had it. The formation is different, but here's all your big offensive linemen. You only have one wide receiver, and here's your runner. Well, here's how the Steelers really matched up to that, is they take 5 linebackers. 1, 2, you got 3, you have 4, and you have 5. 5 guys to attack and handle and match up to the personnel that the Ravens had. And then what did they do? At the snap of the ball, I want you to watch TJ Watt, okay? He attacks here, and he has done one thing that's critical. He's occupied a guy here and here. He's taken 2 guys. That makes it much easier on this other linebacker and this linebacker to attack it downhill. They've controlled the line of scrimmage, most critical aspect of the running attack. They then make the runner lateral. They push him lateral. Once you do that, you are dead as a runner. Very few runners in football can make anything out of that, and they don't. The result is a negative play because of the way they matched up to it. I would expect them to try to match up in these sorts of ways to attack the Titans' running attack, because it's going to require that. And if they handle the run like they did against Baltimore and they did against Cleveland, well, the results, you got a good chance to win. But if you struggle like you did against Cincinnati and Minnesota, it is very hard to win in the NFL when they can run the ball on you effectively. Hi, everyone. Welcome back into the Factor Back Studios for the Steelers Playbook show on the Tennessee Titans. Now, we're going to take a look at the offense against the Titan defense, Steeler offense. We're going to kind of focus on the Titans first. We'll get to the Steeler offense in a second. Some things that you'll watch in this matchup, the Titans are pretty good. And they do some actually interesting pressures that I've studied that are unique to a lot of others that are very successful. I want to show you one in particular that kind of gives you an idea of what to watch for in this game and what the Steelers are going to have to be prepared for, these type of pressures. Now, I want to just show you the actual design of it. They're going to actually cross these 2 guys to occupy and pull these offensive linemen apart. And believe it or not, I mean, it almost looks like an offensive play, to be honest with you. They bring the defensive back and they run him right in the alley. It's incredible. Design, outstanding. Execution is perfection. Watch this. As you snap the ball, look at that. That could not be a better executed right there, because you have now pulled these blockers over. You have created what we call a defensive canal right to your quarterback. Now, arguably, this should be taken care of. You have 1, 2, 3 over here. But because This defensive back came from so far, it's a lot to ask these guys to see that. They don't see it. They get right to the quarterback and down he goes quickly. These are the type of pressures that they're gonna see. How can you handle those pressures? What are some things you can do? Well, if you go to the Raven game, towards the end of the game, they did some good things as far as run action goes that neutralizes all of this pressure, gives your quarterback a little time, and you create one-on-one matchups. It's really called run action, a short yardage situation, but you got your tight end who stays in, your back who'll be a blocker, so you got 7 guys blocking with your offensive line. I want you to watch this little fake. Fake is very important because right there when you stop it, okay, you have now brought all of these guys up into this box and they're accounted for. Najee will help block too, but now you have one-on-one matchups here. Nobody in the center of the field. That's big time in the passing game. They take advantage of it. Ben hits Claypool, you got yourself a first down. Very next play, they do something that's actually very similar. And it handles what the Ravens like to do. Look at, they got nobody in the middle of the field. The Steelers are gonna do about what they did just a moment ago. They're gonna do a little bit of run action. You're gonna keep your tight end here, your back's gonna be a part of this, and all these guys are gonna block. And you're gonna pull all of these guys up in here, and you're gonna challenge them to read this together, which they don't, they bust the coverage. They bust the coverage, but when you snap it, that run action right there, boy, that paralyzes the box. That keeps everybody in here, doesn't put anybody here. They're gonna bust this on Johnson, and they're gonna give yourself a touchdown. That's on a first down play. That neutralizes some of the pressures that a defense will do to you. So we saw what the Titans can do defensively, but the Steelers have started to evolve offensively and have some things to handle those pressures with a combination of how they run and the run action off of it. So if the defense does their part and the offense can do this together, boy, do they have a good chance of a team of winning this particular matchup.